Hi creatives, welcome to True Creativity Insights. I decided to do my post outside today. I'm in Southern California, so today is actually not versus overcast, the sun is out. So I wanted to take advantage of the fact that there is some sun, I can get some D's and really enjoy the effects that being outside does. And I often forget that when I'm kind of like lost in my creative process, in my office, in my studio, when I'm working, I forget the benefits of stepping outside and being outside in the open air with the birds in the background. It really just shifts things physiologically and psychologically. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's so important to remember that is to get outside of your house, especially we've been cooped up for so long in our homes, and then that can become a comfort zone. So anyway, I'm outside and it's really nice. I have the view of the mountains, which is really cool. I have a little bit of background noise. I think for some houses down the street are actually cutting some of their trees or whatever, trimming trees. So excuse the little buzzing in the background. But that's not going to stop me from recording this. I today wanted to talk about art journaling because I think that's a really great way to get your feet wet with mixed media, especially if you've never done mixed media before and you really want to try it out, or you've had an interest or even a draw to mixed media. Doing an art journal is the perfect introduction to mixed media. And that was actually my first doorway into doing mixed media. So I have like, this isn't all my journals, but I just wanted to show you I have a bunch of different journals. And I'm going to talk to you today about the different types of journals that might be, that you can actually explore your mixed media in. So I originally started out just doing visual art journaling, which is a technique that was often used in art therapy. And I thought, you know what, I want to just check it out, see how it is. And I absolutely loved it because I used to do writing journals for years and years and years. I got really tired of just having to write words. I mean, it was really beneficial in terms of when you do some kind of written journal. It really connects you to your own internal wisdom, your intuition. It's very cathartic, very therapeutic. But I got to a point where I was kind of getting tired of my own writing. I felt like I was just sort of repeating myself over and over. So I checked out this idea of visual art journaling, which is really adding a visual component to your journaling. And like when I teach my mixed media art journaling classes, I say you can put as much or as little writing as you want in your journals, or you can put no writing in your journals. It can be 100% visual. So visual is incorporating color, paint, fabric, collage material. Your pages really become rich. So what's very cool about art journaling is that if you're used to doing the written journal, and like I said, there's therapeutic benefits to it, visual art journaling really is even richer. It does exactly the same thing, and what's really fun is you don't even have to think about what you're going to do. You can just trust that your intuition, your subconscious, whatever's going on, you don't have to formulate it in a sentence, because a sentence or a paragraph is so linear thinking. It actually natural and organically forms on the pages. And this is what I've discovered in my own journaling practice, is that I will just like, maybe I had a rough day, I was stressed out, and maybe there was a couple of things that happened during the day, but I was just trying to get through my day. And then at night, I decided to do some art journaling. And I just started picking images, collage material, magazine clippings, whatever it was. I just picked picked the color, and I just started putting it on the page. And before I knew it, before I was done, I realized that the message that my intuition, my sort of subconscious was trying to unravel, or maybe I was trying to make sense of something, it all of a sudden appeared on the pages. That is the magical part of art journaling, is that you can process, whether it's a transition you're going through your life, whether you have a problem that you want to solve, or a question that's ruminating in your head that you want to find the answers to, find clarity to. The art journaling is just as beneficial in terms of finding out some of those things that you need clarity about, and tapping into your own resource of your own internal wisdom. So that's a benefit of art journaling. But that's not the only thing you need to do for art journaling. You can do a journal for traveling, just based on maybe a location or a destination that you went to, and that journal becomes just that destination. I've done that with a few trips, and I often bring my art journal on trip because it is the easiest way to make art, either when you're flying, when you're traveling, in the hotel room, where you're staying. It is so easy to just open that up and actually start working on it. Now, another thing too is traveling, you have access to all this other collage material that you normally don't have access to. So you pick up a magazine, maybe at the airport, that has all these really cool photographs and resources to incorporate into your art journal. So that's really cool to do a travel journal. Also, I think what's really important is that you can do multiple journals at a time. You don't have to have one journal and then you have to wait to finish that journal in order to start a new one. You can actually do multiple journals at a time. I have multiple journals that I have on the shelf, and I'll pull one up and I'll go back to a spread I was working on that I stopped, and I can start working on it again. So art journaling is a really versatile way to just jump into some form of art practice if you are feeling too intimidated by it, or maybe you're scared to do any art or whatever. Art journaling is the most simplest, safest, because you can always close it up if you don't want to look at it, and it's private. You can keep it to yourself. You don't have to share it with the world. I think it's the perfect way to explore not only ideas, but maybe experiment with techniques, mixed media techniques, and maybe even, explore your own inner artist and your own creativity without having to be intimidated by, taking an art class. So I really encourage people to have an art journal, even if you're an experienced artist. Even experienced artists have art journals. So it's really a great way to have some form of an art practice. So I wanted to share a couple of different journals, and I'm going to actually go back inside and show that to you, so that it'll be easier for you to see all the different types of art journaling out there that you can actually try. But I was really excited about sharing art journaling because I think a lot of people out there maybe have kind of an interest but are not sure what it is. So I'm actually going to show you some fun pages and spreads that I've done, and also some of the techniques that I actually teach in my art journaling classes. So let's go inside. So I'm going to show you some of my art journals, and these these two art journals are what I use in my classes, as well as what I do on my own. But I wanted to show you a couple of different techniques that I've done, and also share with you some of the way the pages and the spreads. So this is a spread, and I usually love to just spread out and work on 2 pages at a time. It gives me much more room. And also, this is a larger journal. It's 9 by 12 versus you can also get this kind of journal in a smaller size if maybe this size might be too intimidating. But I personally like working big, and it's easier for me to show my students when I'm working in a bigger format. But here's an example of I'm just putting collage on, and then I put paint back over the collage, and there really is no plan for this. This is just one of those things that just kind of, ooh, I kind of like that image, and then I like that image, and I just plopped it down and then started adding color. So the process was pretty spontaneous. And that's kind of the freedom of art journaling, is that you have the freedom to just do whatever on the page. You don't have to have a theme. You don't have to have an intention or a plan for what you're doing. It doesn't have to look like anything specific. But I wanted to show you a few spreads just to give you some ideas, because what happens is I usually just play around with collage material, and then it kind of has a mind of its own, and it really dictates where it wants to go after that, because you have that freedom. And then I do a couple of different techniques where, like this is a multi-tier spread, which is one of the things that I teach in my art journal class. This is really fun to do. Also, I do a doodling class where we actually mix doodling and paint, and that's really fun to do. And then I also do another technique where we actually incorporate pages of text and then add paint, and then we can even add collage. And it really is, like I said, a first step into getting familiar with mixed media, because you learn how to layer. And one of the beauties of mixed media is that you actually do layer different types of mediums, different types of applications. So in an art journal, you start really getting introduced to that concept. And that's another thing too. You don't have to finish a spread. You can actually do just backgrounds on a page, dry it, and then you can open up another spread or go back and start working on go back and start working on another spread that you worked on prior. So that's what's fun about art journaling, is you don't necessarily have to finish a page or a spread. So, and then I wanted to show you a different type of journaling, which is what I call my workshops called paper cloth junk journaling. And you've probably seen a lot of these online in Facebook and on Pinterest. They call it junk journaling because pretty much anything can go in it. And it is really, even though you do incorporate paint, you mostly incorporate, well, I want to say junk, but the junk is made out of paper ephemera. Ephemera is, vintage paper collage materials that you use. And in what I've done is I've actually incorporated fabric, corrugated board, corrugated paper, skeleton leaves. It's like literally a junk journal means any junk can go in your journal. This is another workshop that I teach, but I wanted to show you that this is a different type of journaling, because what's fun about it is that you're really just gluing and pasting collage material. This is what I call collage material, vintage stamps. This page came from a textbook. I have a piece of lace here, fabric, and then you're kind of overlapping different materials over each other, which brings your journal to this richness. So, and then this was like a old vintage book with handwriting, and I thought that was really cool, so I kind of incorporated that. But I wanted to show you some of these spreads because you can see how rich the pages are. Like I have cheesecloth here that overlap this image. I also do add, occasionally I'll go back and add some paint over the collage material just to give it some more characteristic. I have some scribbling going on in here. Basically, again, junk journaling, anything goes in your junk journal. But what I love about this is that it's so tactile and there's so much dimension to it, which is really fun. And then there's no writing in here. This is really just pulling materials together and seeing how they look on the page. Again, you don't have to show anybody this. This is really can be a very personal thing for you where you can actually allow yourself to explore different materials, be creative without having to worry about it being a masterpiece, a piece of artwork. So this is one of my favorite spreads because this is a vintage illustration from a book, old book, vintage lace. This was a handkerchief, and I just love this because of the fabric and the richness. And then another thing too is then you journal because I think the word journal tends to you think of, I have to write in it. Well, not necessarily. You can even have a book that you put together, and this could be possibly a journal, but this could literally be a journal of a collection of different mixed media techniques, which is exactly what this workshop is my book of creative discoveries. And why I call it creative discoveries is in this workshop you actually explore, learn different mixed media techniques and applications. And then we put it in a book form. And, I had students say, well, can I use it as a journal? And I'm like, yeah, you could totally use it as a journal. What's really fun about this is that there is a lot of richness in here. We weave different materials. We create our own materials. So you'll notice in this sample, there are no, versus the junk journal or the other journal, there's no magazine imagery in here. All the materials that are used for the book is actually created by you, and they're custom. So you don't have to worry about gathering all this collage material. You actually get to make your own collage material. So this is really fun, and this is also a great workshop to get your feet wet in mixed media. Because this is these art journals, book of creative discoveries, and the junk journal class is really easy for beginners who want to learn how to glue things on and adhere things onto the pages. But I wanted to show you this because it's just so much fun. And after you get to know these techniques, you can customize your own book and then actually make it into a journal where maybe you collect quotes, for example. So I wanted just to show you this one because this is a lot of fun. I love doing this. It's just, you go back and forth with different mediums and applications. We work with gesso, we work with cheesecloth, we work with brown paper bag. It's just a lot of fun. So, and then I wanted to show you my most recent journaling class, which is, to me, this is my new love now because I just love the way it looks. This workshop is my WabiSabi art journal, and now it's the same thing. We're actually creating our own collage material, And the reason why it's important to create your own collage material is that now this becomes 100% original. Originally yours, originally artistic style is yours. So, and the whole idea of WabiSabi is to create a look of weathered edge surfaces, which is what I take my students through different techniques to create that aged weathered surface look. We incorporate all kinds of different applications, and this is my favorite class because I love WabiSabi. A lot of my artwork is WabiSabi, and I love the experimentation and the unexpected that happens in this journal. So I wanted to show you this because I'm really excited about doing this. Like, this now has become my primary art journaling because I feel like there is so much more freedom in this, and it's abstract and it's so rich also. So that's really exciting, and that's basically what I wanted to show you in terms of art journaling. So I hope you enjoyed. I will actually take some closer photographs of this so you can see some of the details of these pages. Well, thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun showing you my art journals. I believe that art journaling is the easiest and funnest way to start an art practice. And if you've never done any form of art or even any form of mixed media, try art journaling. It's the easiest thing to start and the easiest thing to do. And it gets your creative juices going. So if you're interested in taking any of my art journaling classes, go to truecreativitywithin.com and you'll check out some of the art journaling classes that I teach on a regular basis. So I hope you had fun. I had fun, and thank you for watching, you guys. Until next time, stay creative. Bye.